Hey there, fellow YouTubers. This is Anti with Home Guitar Mods. In this week's Tone of the Week, we're going to be doing a pedal review of the Biyang Baby Boom Tri Reverb RV10 effects pedal. Can you hear me? Let's get started. Alright, so here's the box. It says Biyang Baby Boom. Not much to say about it. It's a box. Kind of a nice box. Feels a little thin. This was $53 off of Amazon, plus then shipping, obviously, if you don't have Amazon Prime. So we open the box. There's no plastic on the outside. We have a gorgeous pedal on the inside, which, this is my favorite part about buying a new pedal, is pulling it out of the box. Inside the box, we literally get the pedal. There's no instructions. There's no manual. That's it. The only thing we get is a lovely, lovely blue painted reverb pedal. Super heavy duty, just as good as the good MXR. Not the cheesy MXRs, but the good MXR. Very sturdy built. And we get a free pack of chiclets. Just joking, that's silica gel. Don't eat that. Anyway, so here's the pedal. I got a couple switches, have a blend knob and a time knob. We have an A and B switch and a three-way switch for the room, spring, and hall settings. The A-B switch, the best way to describe that would be kind of like a tone circuit. The A is a much darker, fuller reverb. Basically think of if you took your standard reverb and like jacked the bass up on it, that's what it sounds like. It's also a lot more aggressive. The B setting is going to be like every other reverb you've ever heard. That's the best way to describe that. The room is a very big room setting. With the time knob turned down, you can get a smaller room, but it's not going to be limited. Most room reverbs I find it's kind of like being in a bedroom. This room reverb I would compare it to being in like a like the half of the size of a gymnasium if you turn it up. It's very big. The spring setting on this sounds very much like just a very clean reverb. Maybe a spring. I've had some real spring reverbs. It's got that very clean, chimey spring sound. It just doesn't have that spring drippiness. So if you've had a spring reverb, you know what I'm talking about. When you strumming the guitar real hard, it gets that drippy, springy sound. You're not going to get that. And then there's the hall setting, which is your classic big hall. But all of these really have a very full range of time. It's a stereo pedal. It's true bypass. So it actually has a 3 DP/DT switch in it, double pull, double throw. Runs off 9 volts. Got our stuff on the back. This runs off of 9 volts regulated, 200 milliamps only is what it says. And with some of these digital effects, you got to keep them up, otherwise they'll make a little bit of noise. It won't work as well. Alright, so for this demo, we'll be using the Epiphone Les Paul Classic with P90s into the Vox Night Train, which will be running into my homemade ISO cab, which is loaded with a Tenet Celestion and an SM57 for classic amp flavor. Let's see how this thing sounds. Alright, so that is the Tri Reverb. My honest opinion on this thing, if you're looking to buy yourself, say, a Holy Grail or some kind of basic reverb that's not going to do anything special, but it's just going to be a nice verb, I think save your money. Spend the $50. Heck, get two of these things if you want. One for long reverb and one for short reverb. It's got some really great sounds on it. The A setting, I don't really like it much, especially if you get past that 12 o'clock setting. I find, especially if you turn it up a little louder than that, the reverb almost has a drive sound to it. I think it's just an oscillation of the reverb. Not my favorite kind of tone. I like the classic B setting, nice and clean, nice and verby. Sounds nice to me. If you want to know what's on the inside of this pedal, keep watching the video as we tear the pedal apart and you'll actually get to see the components on the inside. If you could care less, this is the Tri Reverb. Check it out. Thanks for watching. And as always, keep rocking and keep modding. Alright, so continuing with the back side of the pedal, we have, again, a very, very sturdy case. Got your Forber feet, and what I love is on this, they've got a little thumb screw here that you can, with your fingers, quite easily take off. And this is how you get your battery compartment. Somebody was thinking. And inside we will see a real 3 double pull, double throw switch, which we'll reveal by taking the back off. And we've got 9 lugs. How awesome is that? Sorry about the camera. How awesome is that? A real bypass switch right there. 3. Oh, it makes me so happy. We've got some really good solder connections, some good components, but enough of the backside. Let's tear the pedal the rest of the way apart so you can actually see what makes this blue demon tick and boom. Alright, so here we have our pedal. First thing to note, it's got, which I love this, the little caps with the little screws inside the set screws. I love that kind of stuff. The side jacks use the same style screws as the MXR pedals, but what's nice about these is I feel like they're actually made out of metal. The MXR ones, I guess they're metal or some kind of special shiny plastic. When I took my my MXR pedals apart to mod them, even the Distortion 3, after about 3 times of taking and putting the pedal apart, these things don't even hardly want to go in anymore. But anyway, let's take the top off and see what makes this thing tick on the inside. So here's our casing. Super thick walls. I mean, this thing has got some serious heft to it. Props to them. We've got some washers here, which you saw just fall out, and those are actually for the jacks. On the inside, they've got some rubber washers to help space them against the pedals. Again, I think a very, very, very good design feature. As the again, I find the MXR ones, if you're taking the pedals apart, they don't fit flush against the side of the pedal casing, and if you take the pedal apart and then put it back together, it just makes it harder to get everything in place. What's super cool about this, I think, we've got some real components here. It's not all just the little mini micro guys. We've got some real resistors and capacitors and op amps and whatnot in this pedal. The switch seems to be just as good a quality as you'd get it for something off of like Small Bear or Pedal Parts Plus. This looks identical to the 3 DPT switch I've bought for almost all my pedal projects, yeah, so good quality switch. Again, some real components in here. We've got maybe some cheesier pots. They've got a really nice turn to them. But, and if I'm wrong, comment below. Maybe these are super mega quality square green pots of doom, in which case, let me know. So cool. Let's take this top circuit board off. As you can see, there's just some sockets here, and see what we got hiding underneath. Cool. So underneath that tone control circuit, we've got some more goodies. for all of those who like to see this kind of stuff. And these jacks all feel pretty decent. Kind of a cheaper plastic feel to them, but you know, really they feel sturdy. Like, I say cheap mostly because they're kind of rough feeling. They're not as, say, polished as the cheap plastic jacks that the MXR pedals use. Really, they look almost identical to those. So far, I think in quality, and same with the board, you got a nice traces. Some really good solders. There's a few, maybe gooey spots, but again, no worse or actually, I would say better than the MXRs I've torn apart. And nothing against MXR. MXR are great pedals. I think I'm just using them as a base point for comparison. This is a cheap reverb pedal at $53. They make a lot of. I shouldn't say this. I have a feeling that the Biyang pedals and the Joyo pedals are probably closely related. I've got a Joyo pedal on the way, so we'll tear that one apart too. But at least these Biyang pedals seem to be made of some good stuff. But now that your eyes have feasted the pedal of its innards, and we've totally probably embarrassed it and taken its pride away by showing its parts, yeah, let your ears be the judge.